Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're well. I am well aware of the fact that I've not made a video in quite a while. By quite a while, I mean 2 weeks. It's because I've been posted in the ICU and it can be a pretty daunting thing to be posted in ICU. It's traumatic is the word for it, I think. Anyways, yes, so today we are going to be talking about the holy mammoth of mental exhaustion. I mean exams. It's one thing to be scared of exam when you're a student, whole another thing when you're a medical student. Only people who have been through it can really relate to the amount of stress that it brings you. And so today I'm going to be sharing what not to do when you're studying, and I think I'm going to make it into a 2-part video. So in this part, I'm going to be sharing what common mistakes students usually make when they're studying, and then in the next part I'm going to be addressing how you can substitute them for more productive ways. I'm not going to be tiptoeing around the main issue here. I'm just going to get straight to the point. I'm just going to be like eyeing the bull in the face. I don't know why I'm saying this. Let's just dive in. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about common mistakes that people make is pulling an all-nighter when you're studying, especially before the day of the exam. Now, I know when you're a medical student, it's a very funny thing to say that without pulling an all-nighter, how can you even expect to cover all the syllabus? And that's true. But what I'm saying is pulling an all-nighter actually decreases your productivity, and that is also true. A lot of you guys will not agree with me on this, I think, but personally, I don't think that pulling an all-nighter is really helpful for long term. While yes, for a day, it can help you cram up a lot of stuff and then, vomit out all the words next day in the exam. When you're thinking of preparing for a competitive exam or, something that is long-term preparation, all-nighters can be a really detrimental thing to your routine. The people who would say that they study better at night, I would say after dinner you can put in 2 to 3 hours of studying and then sleep at 12 or 1 o'clock and then wake up at 5. You should give your body at least 4 hours of refreshment, and that is very helpful. I will always be the person who vouches for morning study routine. For people who would be fighting me on this, saying that it's actually very important to pull an all-nighter if you want to pass the exam, to them, I would say instead try covering your syllabus beforehand. If you really do need to pull an all-nighter, do make sure that you at least get 4 hours of sleep. That's the most productive advice that I can give you, to be honest. Let's move on to the next mistake that students make, and that is to not have a timetable. Usually what we go for is half-sit studying, which means that you wake up, you decide that you want to do this topic today, and then you cover that topic, maybe you don't cover that topic, and then the next day it goes on and on. The problem is that you're doing one topic today and then you don't know where the topic goes. The problem is that each one of us is guilty of that. Making a timetable actually makes you aware of the fact that you're supposed to be doing one thing today, and yes, there are some days when you won't be able to stick to it, and that's okay as well. You just switch one routine with another. What's not fine is just doing a topic and then forgetting about it and not coming back to it and not knowing when you're going to come back to it. So all in all this jibber jabber leads to one point, and that is to make a timetable. Another common mistake would be to have a clock or a watch in your side when you're studying, because that happens a lot with me. I keep looking at it and I'm just like, okay, I have this much time to give and I have 3 hours or 4 hours left. So I would not exactly call this a mistake, but yes, it's a very distracting thing to have a clock when you're studying in your sight. So I think not having it actually makes you more focused. Another common mistake. So a lot of us, are guilty of taking notes from our friends, not having your own notes in your own writing. I don't think there's a point of notes at all if you're taking it from somebody else, because every person has a different way of writing things, of addressing things, of analyzing things. So what you're doing is forcing yourself to think like them. I think what instead people should do is take the notes and then read from the book or watch a video on the internet related to that, and then write your own notes. I know it's a very tedious thing, and it's again easier said than done because it takes a lot of time, double time. That would just mean not missing a class is the key to making sure you have your notes right. But no, sometimes yes, it's unavoidable. So in that situation, I would say that do not use the notes as it is, or cram up the notes as it is. So another mistake that I would like to address that students make is convince themselves that they are studying on the internet. Of course, internet helps in a lot of ways to study, and practical knowledge becomes very easy, but I don't think that the core study session that you're doing needs an internet, because it can be a very vast thing. you might just end up seeing a lot of stuff on the internet. If it's something that helps conceptually, you can use the internet. I know a lot of us are guilty, including me. When I Google something, eventually I just end up also searching about random stuff and then it's just the whole circle of using my phone just begins, and then it just doesn't end. So yes, so it becomes a mistake when you go into that loop. Use it as a reference, no doubt. Use it as something to build your concepts on. Watch the videos to know what to take and what not to take. Alright guys, so those are the common mistakes that I think that students make, and a lot of these, almost all of these, are the mistakes that I have made when I'm studying, and I have tried to correct them. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.